In this video, we talked about two definitions of linearly dependent and or independent vectors. So the first definition says if a vector can be written as a linear combination of other vectors, and another definition says if the set of vectors can the linear combination can generate a zero vector or not. And this linear combination should essentially contain at least one non-zero scalar. So if any of these two conditions satisfies, then we say they are linearly dependent vectors. So one is, can you write a particular vector as a linear combination of other vectors? This one. Or can you generate a zero vector out of linear combination of the vectors wherein all the lambdas are not zero? At least one lambda is not zero. So any of these two conditions are met out, then we say then the set of vectors is linearly dependent. Now, and also we know that whenever we are talking about a linear combination of vectors, we can write it as something like times lambda is equals to x. Why? Because a is containing the column vectors of a is nothing but x1 x2 xj minus 1 xk, and lambda is the vector of scalars containing lambda 1 lambda j minus 1 lambda k, and xj is the vector that you are actually trying to write it as a linear combination. While this particular thing can be written a bit differently, this particular thing can be written differently, and let us see how we can write it. This thing can be written as, if can I write like b x is equals to 0. Why? Because b is the matrix that contains, or the column vectors of b are nothing but x1 x2 up to xk, and x is actually the column vector of lambdas, so lambda 1 lambda 2 lambda k, and it should be able to generate a zero vector. So essentially we are getting two different equations out of these things. One is saying a lambda is equals to x, another is saying b x is equals to 0. Both of them are equivalent to this one. Now if you see, then we get to know this fact that if we are able to solve this one, okay, if we are able to solve this particular fact, or or that particular thing, then essentially we are talking about the same thing, right? So these two things we can use to find out whether the system of, or whether the vectors are linearly dependent or not. So these two problems we have solved already, and we are solving it again. So if we are going to see this fact, okay, if we are going to see this fact, so we get one more way to find out whether a particular set of vectors is linearly dependent or not, by solving ax is equals to 0. By solving ax is equals to 0, we get the things done, and we use the Gauss elimination to solve ax is equals to 0, right? Okay, this is another way to find out whether a system, or whether the vectors are linearly dependent or not. If you are able to find out the solution ax is equals to 0, and you find that the solutions, there are infinite solutions available, then we say that that the vectors are linearly dependent. And if you are not able to find out infinite number of solutions, that is only unique solution you are able to find out, then we say that the solution or the set of vectors is linearly independent. As we have already talked that uh, any matrix equation has a solution if the determinant is not zero. So unique solution you will get. But in case of equations which has the constant part 0, will always have a solution. There does not exist no solution case in such type of systems wherein the constant part is 0. So we do not have a no solution case, we have a unique solution case, we have an infinite number of solution case. So if you want to have one more solution, then definitely you are asking for infinite number of solutions, and that case actually goes for the determinant not equals to 0. So the problem is definitely similar to or can be solved through finding the determinant. Okay. Another way is to think about the Gauss elimination process. What it does, you take the rows and you subtract the rows, or you make a linear combination of row vectors and try to make something zero, right? Now, if a particular row goes completely zero, definitely you are able to make the row 0 just by making the linear combination of previous rows. So what you can get or what you understood is the fact that the previous rows are able to generate or yeah able to generate the this particular or the current row, right? This current row, you in other words you can say that this current row can be expressed as the linear combination of the previous rows. So earlier when we are trying to solve Ax is equals to 0, we were actually focusing with the setup where the vectors are setted in the columns. Now when we are looking at the Gauss elimination process, we can look it as when vectors are setted up in row vectors, as a row vectors of matrix. And further we can look a little bit about geometry, what the geometry says. The geometry, if we are talking about only two vectors, so the two vectors says if you are taking the determinant of corresponding to two vectors, then it actually goes to find out the area scribed described by these two vectors, the vector AB and CD. And the determinant is AD minus BC is nothing but the area, nothing but the area filled up all here. So if the area is 0, then definitely AB and CD are collinear, collinear vectors. So their direction is same, but their magnitude may be different, right? And this is the same thing that we are asking earlier. So determinant is actually giving us a area or volume or hypervolume as the size of vector increases. So if the area of the parallelogram made up of these two vectors is 0, then they are collinear vectors. And if they are collinear vectors, then we can say that they are linearly dependent vectors. If they are not collinear vectors, definitely they will have some area, definitely they have some determinant value, non-zero, and which means that the determinant will not be 0 in case of linearly independent. So linearly dependent geometrically means that the two vectors are parallel. at least when we are talking about two vectors, they are parallel, they are collinear, they are in the same direction. While in case if they are linearly independent, they are in different directions, and because of them there is some area that you can confine. So these are some linear some important points about linear independence or dependence of the vectors. So let's just see them. The first one is, set of vectors will always be linearly dependent or linearly independent. There cannot be any other option, any other different option. And if one vector is zero, then the set is called linearly dependent. Another one is, if you find a duplicate of a vector, if two vectors of duplicate of each other, definitely the set is linearly dependent. Other two things, basically we are summarizing what we have learned in this video. That is by Gauss elimination, the way we are solving through the Gauss elimination, or way we can solve the Ax is equals to 0 problem. Now we are trying to look more deeper, because we can or we understand Gauss elimination. We know you can have pivot elements when you are making linear combination of rows. You have certain non-zero rows, and in those non-zero rows you get some pivot elements. So if you are going through the Gauss elimination process and you are putting your vectors in the rows of the matrix, then the rows which are not zero, they are basically linearly independent vectors of that set, and they can generate all other vectors which has become zero now, because you have applied the Gauss elimination, and with the help of Gauss elimination you are able to make all other rows zero. So those rows which are made zero or which finally become zero, they are linearly dependent. The vectors, the original vectors corresponding to them, were linearly dependent, and the rows which are non-zero, their corresponding original vectors are linearly independent. So this fact actually can help us identifying the linearly dependent vectors and linearly independent vectors out of a set of vectors. Similar to that, the same thing we can apply when we are putting our vectors in the columns of a matrix. We can say that a vector after Gauss elimination, because when we are solving Ax is equals to 0, we will be going to apply the Gauss elimination on the rows, but we have set up our vectors in the columns. So now what we can say that the columns that has a pivot element are the ones which are linearly independent, and those columns which do not have a pivot element or pivot column, then those columns can be generated of the previous columns. Now you can see this particular example to understand this behavior. You can see the first column has pivot. First column will always have a pivot because it has certain elements, and you cannot, because the Gauss elimination is working downwards, so the first element will work as an important element. Or it may not have a pivot only in case the first column is entirely zero. Otherwise it will definitely have a pivot. The second column you can see here, this is a multiple of the first column, right? So you can see that it does not have pivot because it is just a multiple of the first column. Even if you have not used the Gauss eliminated row echelon form, Even then it must have been uh, the multiple of or 3 times of the first column. The last third column has a pivot element, so it is again is linearly independent of the previous two columns. So the first column and the third column, they are linearly independent, and the second column is linearly dependent on the first column. So there is a lot of things that we can try to understand with the help of Gauss elimination. So thanks to Gauss, that we have this beautiful algorithm which can solve a lot of problems. You can also see, you can also try these things, these examples, so as to know whether the things or whether these examples are linearly dependent vectors or linearly independent set of vectors. You can also notice that this particular example and this particular example has certain commonality, and by that fact you may be able to learn something new about it. We just try these two examples at least to understand the fact what is happening when we put the vectors in columns and when we put the vectors in rows. You can see all the vectors. This is the vector 1 1 2 minus 3 and 4 is coming out here. 1 2 minus 3 and 4. So this will be a bit of understanding how the things are happening in both the situations, when we put the vector in the columns and when we put the vectors in the rows. In the next video we are going to talk about homogeneous system of linear equations, to understand, because one of the definition of linearly dependence is taking us to homogeneous system of linear equations. So we need to talk about it. Thank you.